Let's go.
Alright, how's it going, everybody? I am at Chicagoland Speedway. I am in test session mode here. I'm going to try to lay down a decent lap and then just talk about the line I'm using, show the setup and everything. This is the Cup Series, and I have ran a 30.286 with this setup. I will tell you, I looked at the leaderboard, and like 10th place is like a 29.7, so it's like I am somehow way off that. But given how little you are out of the gas here at Chicagoland, it's just hard for me to imagine how you run that kind of a lap unless you had a lot of draft help. As you can probably hear from the video, I am just barely lifting the throttle in 1 and 2, and then really lifted even less in 3 and 4. So I don't know how you run that kind of lap unless, like I said, you get a lot of help from the draft. But maybe somebody's figured out something I haven't. I don't know. There was a 30.311, so I will be happy to take that. That's pretty close to my all-time best. So let's talk about the setup, or the line, then we'll go talk about the setup. It seems like at Chicago it takes a very, very, very little change, and you can go from a 30.3 to a 30.8. I try to go high up against the wall, and when I start to turn down in, I lift slightly, and there is a white line right there that you can see going across the track. Now, you kind of got to get a sense for where it's at, but I lift just a little bit, don't even get all the way out of the throttle, probably back out to, I don't know, 60-70% of throttle, right about here, right before I get to that white line. Like I said, going as fast as you can't really see that white line, but you get a sense for where it's at on the track after just a few laps. So that's kind of how I kind of can explain to you where I'm lifting, but you got to get a sense for it. Once you have lifted, you just barely lift, like I said, and then you're right back in it. I try to stay on the bottom here and just kind of hug the white line. Now, I don't mind getting a little bit off of it, but not real high off of it coming off the corner, because I do want to get a little bit of a downhill run coming to the start-finish line, and then I will stay on the apron across the start-finish line, work my way back up, and get to where I'm right out next to the wall, and then kind of, and I went by my mark here. Let's back up. There is this section of pavement that I'm setting on here. It's like it's been patched or something. It's a little bit discolored. And once again, when I am looking at turn 1, just about the entrance to this odd colored section of pavement, or maybe right before you get to it, I breathe the throttle just a little bit. I'm probably off it to 50% or something, then back on the throttle, hammer down, and you just lift to about 50%, like I said, and come back. Stay on the white line all the way around the track here, or all the way around the corner. Stay a little bit lower than the suggested line on exit, and that is kind of the line I am using at Chicago. I may be way off base, because I am usually not half a second off the leaderboard, but I may just be way off base on either the line or the setup here. But this is the best I got to offer you. So yeah, I'm sure you guys will give me some feedback on what it drives like and how it stacks up when you race it. But let's go and actually look at the setup. So there's nothing real radical on this setup. Pretty common bump and rebound settings, pretty common weight settings. I may be a little lighter than normal with the front weight and wedge, because I'm usually, I think, in that 51.5 to 51.8 range, so maybe I'm a little lower than normal there. Shocks are pretty standard. Tire pressures are the defaults. The front sway bar is really, really stiff, which I did not think I would go with a sway bar this stiff. I think I ran a sway bar about this stiff maybe at Atlanta, and that's the only other mile and a half that I run this sway bar at. But the advantage to a stiffer sway bar is it seems like it makes the car, as you would expect with a stiffer sway bar, more rigid. So when you turn, the car is likely to turn versus lean over on the right side is the way I would describe it. Now, if it is turning versus leaning over, that's great, but with a stiffer sway bar, it's harder to make the car turn. So you try to achieve a balance between a stiff sway bar where you're getting the car to actually turn versus just roll over on the right side, and a sway bar that is so stiff that you can't make it turn. The track bars are, up there pretty high, but when you have a higher front weight and wedge, you're going to have higher track bars. Those just kind of go hand in hand. I ran the grill tape at 50%. You might get the temperature light flashing at you. Even if you see the temperature light come on and you hit 262, 263, you're not going to damage your engine. I don't even know that it really slows up your lap times. So I wouldn't panic if you saw that temperature light come on. Now, if you get above, you know, you get into the 260 something or 270 range, I think you're running a risk of damaging your engine. But if it just flashes on you, maybe at the end of the straightaway, not a big deal. Um, the gearing, I settled on a 333. I think the default's a 3.4. I just felt like that was too low of a gear, and you were really not maximizing your straightaway speed. I fooled around with a lot of different things. A 325, a 333, a 340. I settled on a 333. I would tell you, if you are a little better driver than I am and you can keep the speed up through the corners better, you might want to try a 325 and you might get a little better lap times. But that's all I got for Chicago. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys found it useful. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thank you guys so much. It means a tremendous amount to me. I will try to keep putting out good content, and you guys keep liking the videos and subscribing. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you all, and have a great day, everybody.